Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and this is Terrifying Tuesday. So let's talk about something horror related. And today we're going to be talking about Halloween Ends and the possibility that the director and Jamie Lee Curtis may have just told us exactly where Michael Myers has been. And then we're going to talk about the actress who played Jamie Lloyd possibly having a sequel. Let's jump into it. Okay, so what we have going on is, once again, we have to say that things have been blown out of proportion just a little bit in terms of this being a spoiler or not. In terms of this being actual news or not, the director and Jamie Lee Curtis have said that where Michael Myers was for the last 4 years isn't really going to be addressed in the film. They have said that it's part of the mystery, essentially. They didn't feel that they needed to tell where Michael Myers has been for the past 4 years. And that's not a bad thing. That is certainly not a bad thing. But a lot of people are running with the saying, well, they're going to explain everything. They should really explain this. Michael Myers is the boogeyman, and the boogeyman doesn't have to have a reason or a rhyme. He doesn't have to have a place that he has been. The idea that Michael Myers can hide from the police and everything else is a showcase of just how much of a villain, how much of a cool character that Michael Myers is. I totally agree with the directors here that I don't think we need to know where Michael Myers has been for the past 4 years. To me, it doesn't even matter. I think jumping into the story, giving us a good tell, and all of that is going to be the way to go with this film. So, in terms of that, that's really what we have to say about that topic, is that a lot of people have been reporting that it's not going to show where they are, or where Michael Myers has been anyway, since all this time has passed. Now, when we meet Jamie Lee Curtis's character in this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis has said that we're gonna get to meet the real Laurie Strode. Like, this is Laurie Strode without all the trauma in her life. She's healed up. She stopped being a victim and has actually become the Laurie Strode that would have been if Michael Myers legitimately never was in the picture. Now, that's paraphrasing kind of what she said. She just basically said we're going to get to meet Laurie Strode. That she's done with the terror that's in her life. She doesn't have to worry about it anymore. So I think that's an interesting thing too, but it doesn't really border on spoilers or take anything away from the movie. In fact, it's a good thing. We always have to assume that the victims of movies are able to get past whatever horrors happen to them within the films. Look at Alice from Friday the 13th Part 2. She goes to the cabin and she's actually trying to heal herself. Now, in that particular case, we see her actually physically saying, this is how I'm going to deal with this. And she seems like she's in a good place. And then Jason shows up. So, it becomes that type of thing in this film as well, I imagine. We get to see Laurie healed up. We get to see her kind of, putting that trauma behind her. And then all of a sudden, boom, terror again. Now, our next topic that we got to talk about is Danielle Harris, who played Jamie Lloyd. And she has an idea for a brand new Halloween film. So, basically, her character died. But she has come up with a way to make it plausible for her character to do a movie. I don't know if addressing the fact that her character died would be a thing, although I really do think they should have it to where she faked her own death in the original timeline, just as Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie Strode faked her death in the old timeline. So basically, it becomes like this. You have the original movie, you have the reboot, the little 2018 movie, then you have that trilogy. That's one timeline. But if you go back to the original timeline, the possibilities would indeed be endless. So I'm completely down for this. And her idea was brilliant. She said she had this while she was on a plane. The idea sparked. I know they killed her character, and unceremoniously, if you ask me, it wasn't very entertaining to watch that character die, because I had grown accustomed to actually loving that character and wanting to see her move forward as the main protagonist of the movie. And the thing of it is, Danielle Harris has a podcast called Talk Scary to Me. Now, if you're not watching this, you really should be. If you're a horror fan or even a Halloween fan, she is Scream Queen incarnate. She's a horror fan at heart. And she loves being a Scream Queen. So she talks about a lot of this stuff, and it's very interesting. But she said she had an idea and has been talking to the directors of that made her movie. And essentially what it comes down to, she was on an airplane and she had this idea that Jamie Lloyd's psychic bond with Michael Myers never fully went away. So she's seen Michael Myers come back and actually start to kill some people. And because of this, she feels as though she has to come and destroy him. She's the only hope. She can stop him. I definitely think this movie has some good possibilities. If they okay this and they make a timeline where Jamie Lloyd survived, what's so different about making a timeline where Jamie Lloyd survived than a timeline where Laurie Strode survived? I mean, we saw Laurie Strode die in the original timeline. Actually, we were told she died. We saw her come back. Then we saw her get killed. So seeing Jamie Lloyd die in the original timeline and then having them bring her back, I don't see anything wrong with this at all. In fact, I think it might be sort of cool. And this might be the way to bring in a younger actor playing Michael Myers, if indeed this is going to be the end. Because what we have going on here is just another timeline. And the timelines are already sort of distorted in this series anyway, so why wouldn't we just go ahead and embrace the fact that the timelines are distorted? What's the matter with going backwards in this timeline? It's the best of both worlds, and it doesn't take away from anything. If you like the first timeline with all the sequels, then this would be perfect for you. If you're a fan of the new trilogy that happened, that where the first movie takes place 2018 and then that trilogy and we're done, then you have the best of both worlds there as well. A shorter time to watch and, less movies. And sure, some of the movies got silly, they got crazy, they weren't all the best quality, but that's the way it goes with horror movies and horror franchises. The longer they go on, the crazier they get, and sometimes that's part of the fun. I personally would love to see them take it back to Jamie Lloyd as a character. I'm completely 100% down with this, and when I heard about this, I was super excited. So, let me know what you think about the ending of one being the beginning of the next. Do you think it's cool to have Michael Myers come back in a different timeline where Jamie Lloyd is now our protagonist, our Scream Queen, our final girl? Or do you think that they should leave that timeline be? What do you think of Jamie Lee Curtis and the director of Halloween Ends telling us that they're not really going to expose where Michael Myers has been, and Jamie Lee Curtis saying for the very first time we're going to get to meet a non-traumatized Laurie Strode? What do you make of these comments, these things that have been going on? Let us know in the comments. So make sure you're dropping us a line in the comments because we want to hear from you. YouTube likes it and we like it as well. And then share this video with all of your friends so they get the same great content you're getting and can be a part of this conversation. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. YouTube really likes it when you hit that like button, and we really like it too. Miko says we need more subscribers, and you definitely don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. And yes, friends, at the end of the day, fandom is family.